Toma. Wait, it's Mrs. Wally. I'm on first today? Guess what? We're going to switch, change things up a bit, and do math first for the whole next trimester. How great is that going to be? Today is Tuesday, December 8th, and this is your TV classroom. Are you ready? Before we begin our math lesson today, it's really important we check in with that zone. So I want you to take an inner look inside, and I want you to think about, what's your body feeling? What's your brain feeling? What are your emotions feeling? And what zone are you in? Rashid, today I'm in the green zone. I woke up ready to go today. I got all of my work done last night. I was ready to teach, and I'm really excited, but in a way that's appropriate, to get to go first and do zone check-in with everybody. I love doing affirmations, but I'm so excited to get to launch our show every day for the next trimester. How are you feeling today, Rashid? You're in the green zone too? How are you feeling? Go ahead, share with your learning buddy. Tell them, what zone are you in today and why? Okay. Now before we get going on our math lesson, I know that you know the materials we get for math are typically the same, and they are today. You need your whiteboard and your marker, your learning buddy, and counters. Now I'm going to warn you, when you come back, we're going to do True or False Tuesday. And these ones kind of feel like, whoo, when we see them. But we're smart mathematicians. We don't have to make our brains wobbly because we can use strategies that we know. Are you ready? Get your materials, come back. I'll give you about 20 seconds to do that, and then we'll get going on math. All right, ready? Go for it. Okay, Mr. Kevin's gonna put up our first slide, and you can freak out when you see it. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll surprise me. Maybe you'll be like, Mrs. Wally, I got this. Let's see. You ready? Whew. When I first see this, I just think that's a lot of numbers and plus signs. What do you think when you first see this? Feels a little overwhelming, doesn't it? So let's break it down and think about what we know. What do we know, mathematicians? We know that we have two sides to an equal sign, okay? We know we're doing true or false. We have to decide if both of the sides are the same, okay? What else do we know? Yeah, we know how to add. So where do we want to start? Okay, let's start with our hundreds. You ready? 200 plus 100 plus 100 equals what? 400. Whoops. I did it again. Third graders, I always do this with you. I forget to hit my highlighter. Here we go. 200 plus 100 plus 100 is 400. Okay, what do we want to do next? The tens. 10 plus 20 plus 10. What is 10 plus 20 plus 10? 40. Okay. What is 2 plus 6 plus 4? 12. Is this true or false? Ding, 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 ding. Look, we did something that looked overwhelming. We took a deep breath. We stepped back. We figured out what we knew to help us figure out what we didn't know. Excellent work, mathematicians. Nice job. Shall we do another one? Do we have to get worried about it? Nope. Do you want to use the same strategy or a different strategy this time? Why don't you try and solve on your own? I'm going to give you about 30 seconds and then we'll solve it together. See if you can decide if it's true or false, and then we'll go over it together. Are you ready? Go. Okay, I'm going to do the same strategy. I'm going to start with my hundreds. 200 plus 100 plus 100 is 400. 10 plus 20 plus 10 is 40, plus another 40 is 80. 6 plus 4 is 10. And 2 plus 8 is 10. That means it's another 20. Is this true or false? Why is it false, Pebble? Right, because 400 plus 80 plus 20 is 500, not 490. What do you think this person did to get 490 instead of 500? What mistake do you think they made? Yeah, I think they probably left off one of the 10s when they were adding, didn't they? Or they forgot to regroup a 10. I agree. All right. I am actually going to skip through. We're going to do more of those another day. I want to get into division. So it says we're learning the 2 meanings of division today. Division has 2 different meanings. So I want you to make sure you have some counters and a pen, because we're going to need those tools. Go ahead, read this to yourself while I read it out loud. Kayla has 12 flowers and 3 vases. She puts the same number of flowers in each vase. How many flowers are in each vase? To solve this problem, will you find the number of groups or the number in each group? What's happening in this problem? Yeah, there's someone with flowers and vases and they're putting them in vases. What are we trying to figure out? How many flowers are in each vase? What information do we know? We know we have 12 flowers, and we know we have 3 vases. Go ahead and solve. I'm going to solve, you're going to solve, and then when I say Mr. Kevin will show my whiteboard, but not yet, because I want you to have time to solve, okay? I'm going to give you about 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. We'll see. Ready? Go. You ready? Okay, Mr. Kevin, go ahead and show my board. Here's what I did. I made 3 vases, and I took my counters and I shared them out. I said 1 here, 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 until I used all 12 of my counters. How many flowers did you find in each vase? 4. There's 4 flowers in each vase. Now, if I was to move these down here like this, vase, 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 what do you notice? Wait a minute. What do you notice? I'm going to try and get that shadow away for you. There we go. What do you notice? Right, Pebble, it's an array. I have 3 columns and I have 4. Oh, perfect, Mr. Kevin, thank you. And I have 4 rows. Each vase, which is my columns, have 4 flowers. That's pretty cool. Or we could do 3 groups, 3 rows of 4. This is more representative of it, but we have 3 vases, and how many in each row? 4. So what did we figure out? Did we figure out the number of groups, which is the vases? Or did we figure out how many were in each group, which is how many flowers in each vase? For this problem, we are figuring out how many in each group. That's one kind of division. You ready for the next one? Go ahead and reset your board and let's look at the next problem. It says, Mark has 24 oranges to put in bags. He decides to put 6 oranges in each bag. So we're going to draw, not build, so we're going to use our markers. Do we know how many groups we're going to draw? How many rows? Or do we know how many in each group we're going to draw? He decides to put 6 oranges in each bag. Okay, so let's do that in an array. Remember, our groups are going to be our rows. So let's do the first row. You ready? Watch my whiteboard. Here we go. I have one group of 6. How many total oranges do I need? 24. So I have 6. Now what do I have? 12. And what do we know about 12 and 24? 2 groups of 12 make 24. So I can actually just do this. Okay, we put 6 in each group. We know there are 6 in each. How many groups of 6 do we have? How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. And what are our groups in this problem? 4 bags with 6, we'll use our label, 6 oranges. 4 bags with 6 oranges equals 24 oranges. What would be the division equation for this model? Remember, we divide, we take our total, our problem said 24, and we divided it into groups of 6, and we got an answer of 4. It says use words to describe the total number of oranges, number in each group, and number of groups. Go ahead and describe what we figured out with your learning buddy. I'm going to give you 10 seconds and go. Okay. You should have said, I had 24 oranges. I put 6 oranges into each bag and I found that there were 4 bags of oranges. There's enough oranges to fill 4 bags equally. So 24 divided by 6 equals 4. Did we find out the number in each group, or did we figure out the number of groups in this problem? Which one were we trying to figure out? Yeah, the number of groups. Reset your board. Let's go to the next problem. Mark changes his mind. Oh, Mark. He decides to put all 24 oranges in 6 bags. And we're going to dump all the bags out. He puts the same number of oranges in each bag. So if we're thinking about our array, before we knew it was 6 in each bag. But now it's not. Now we don't know this number. We don't know how many oranges are going to be in each bag. We know how many bags. How many bags are there? Yeah, there's 6 bags. Go ahead and write that. And make 6 rows for your 6 bags. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, strong mathematicians, double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. So now what are you going to do? How are you going to solve this one? I'm going to give you 1 minute. Try and solve. How many oranges can you put in each bag for all the bags to have the same number of oranges? Ready and go. Oh, you know what I see some kids doing? They're doing this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's known as sharing out. Well, I know 12 and 12 is 24. "24 oranges, 6 bags. How many oranges in each bag?" 4. Excellent job, third graders. Now, we're going to write a division equation for our model. What did we do this time? We did 24. We divided it into 6 groups, and we got 4 in each group. Tell your learning buddy, did we figure out how many groups or how many equal in each group there were? And use words to describe the problem. Ready? Go. Excellent work, third graders. So, we had 24. We put the 24 into 6 bags or 6 groups, and we found that there were 4 oranges in each group or bag. Excellent. All right, reset. Actually, no, don't reset. We're going to leave this up. We're going to answer some questions. Are you ready? It says, what does the 6 show in your model? For the first problem, if you remember back to the first problem, we did 6 oranges in each bag. What did the 6 show in that model? Yeah, how many oranges were in a bag? What does the 6 show in this model? Yeah, how many bags? Is that the same or different? It's different, right? It's a different picture. I've got 6 bags, where before I had 6 oranges. Did we use the same division equation for both models? We did. If you remember, the last model was 24 divided by 6 equals 4. But we put labels on this. 24 divided into 6 bags equals 4 oranges in each bag. The other model was 24 divided into 6 oranges equals 4 bags. Do you see how it's different? The labels matter. Remember, I've talked a lot about that labels matter in math because they tell us exactly what we're working with. Guess what, friends? We're out of time for today. So we will continue working on this tomorrow. For today, I want you to do page 233 only, just this page. You can't see that, whoops. Oh, Mrs. Wally. Dear oh me. Okay, here we go. Ta-da! You're going to do just this page, 233, as your assignment today. Okay? All right. Miss Oslin's going to be next after your 5-minute break. Please make sure to have your learning buddy ready. And I'm not sure what materials you're going to need, but she'll let you know at the beginning of your lesson. All right? But make sure you have that learning buddy ready and you're ready to do some ELA work with her. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.
third graders, welcome back from your break. I hope you had a great math lesson with Mrs. Wally. Welcome to TV Classroom from Mrs. Oslin's dining room. I'm at home today, so this is kind of exciting, but also I'm feeling a little bit anxious about teaching from my dining room because it's different for me. So I'm going to take some calming breaths and I'm going to encourage you to do the same. Okay, I feel better. Today, we are going to continue our learning about social emotional learning. And you did your zone check already with Mrs. Wally, but let's check in again. Think about your I message. I feel because Paying close attention to how strongly you're feeling your emotion. Take some think time. Now, Mrs. Wally had you get your learning buddy, so go ahead and share your iMessage with your learning buddy now. We've been practicing using the feelings tree to help us really describe how we're feeling, not just mad or sad or happy, but are you disappointed or angry or frustrated, so that the person you're sharing your iMessage with really understands what you're feeling. And if you recognize that you're feeling a feeling at a 4 or a 5, we know we can use our stop and stay cool steps before we say or do something that we know we shouldn't. When we have a conflict with someone, we know that we can find a win-win solution. A win-win solution is one in which both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with the outcome. And that's so we can keep our friends. We've been working on using the peace path to help us solve a conflict or a problem that we have with someone. Step 1 is you tell the problem. This is where you use your iMessage to tell the other person how you feel and why, making sure that the other person says it back. So you feel because That way both people really know and understand what the other person is feeling. Step 2 is you brainstorm solutions to solve your problem. So you both think about which win-win solution would be appropriate to solve the problem. Some win-win solutions that we've been talking about are share, take turn, apologize, fix the problem, or get help. Then you come back together with the other person and you discuss your win-win solution and pick one to help you solve the problem. Today we're going to use all of that to help us learn that occasional or sometimes hurt feelings and conflict between friends are both normal and solvable. Even though they don't feel good at the time, it is totally normal to have conflict and hurt feelings. Now, take some think time. Which win-win conflict solver have you used either in your team, in your family, or in your class? Why did you use it? And how did it help you remain friends? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking about the conflict solver that you have used, why you used it, and how it helped maintain your friendship. Now, let's keep that in mind as we continue to learn. You'll remember we read the book Iris and Walter and the Field Trip. It was written by Alyssa Hayden Guest and illustrated by Christine Davigny. And we learned about friends, Iris and Walter, and how they were best friends, but they also had other friends too. It wasn't just the two of them. Today, we're going to reread some of it and think about potential conflict or hurt feelings that could happen between friends. You'll remember at the beginning, Iris and Walter's teacher, Miss Cherry, told them that they were going to the aquarium on a field trip, and they were all very excited to see the different animals. They wanted to see sharks and penguins and starfish, and their teacher assured them that they would get to see all the animals that they wanted to see. Then Walter was having dinner at Iris's house because they're such good friends, and they were talking to her family about their field trip and that they're going on the bus to the aquarium. And they talked more with Iris's family about the animals that they wanted to see. And then Iris asked Walter, "Do you want to be bus buddies?" Which means sit next to each other on the bus. And Walter said, "Sure." But what if Walter had already told their friend Benny that he would be Benny's bus buddy? How do you think that would make Iris feel? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy how you think it would make Iris feel if Walter had already promised to be bus buddies with Benny. Let's see, are there any feelings on our feelings tree that could help us? Do you think she would feel disappointed? Maybe. Maybe angry? Maybe. How could she solve this problem? I want to point out, I'm going to try this for the first time. Are you ready? This one right here. Talk it out. Talk it out is a new strategy that we can use when we have a conflict with someone. Talking it out means tell them what's going on. If you don't tell someone what you're feeling and why, they may not know because they might feel differently. They might not be angry or disappointed. Walter might not think it's a big deal that he already told Benny. So Iris would want to talk it out, which means talk to Walter about how she's feeling. And she would first want to do that by using an I message. I feel because Take some think time and think about what would Iris's I message sound like? It might sound like, I feel angry because you are going to be bus buddies with Benny and not me. So talk it out is another win-win conflict solver. If that doesn't work, they could also get help. Now, the peace path is a tool that we can use when we have a conflict or hurt feelings with friends. We can practice telling the problem, that's using your I message, brainstorming solutions, and then choosing one to help solve the problem. Think about what is a conflict that you might have with a friend that could be solved using one of these conflict solvers. Think about a conflict that you've had. Here's an example. Rafa brought 3 yummy acorn treats to the playground. He kept one and gave the other 2 to Gus and Rashid. Suddenly, his friend Mabel came running up and saw everyone with a treat, but there was none for her. She was hurt that Rafa did not give one to her. Now, we are learning that today it's normal to have hurt feelings among friends, but that it's also solvable. So, what could Mabel do now that she's hurt because Rafa didn't give her a treat? Take some think time. Turn and tell your learning buddy what you're thinking. You might have said that she can talk it out with Rafa. She can use an I message to tell Rafa how she's feeling and why. So what would Mabel's iMessage sound like? Take some think time. Now, share what Mabel's iMessage might sound like with your learning buddy. I'm going to practice too. Mabel might say, I feel mad because you gave everyone else a treat and not me. She might also feel left out. They can use the peace path to help them solve the problem. First, they can tell the problem. Then, they can brainstorm solutions and choose one to solve the problem. Here's another situation. There were two friends and they were building blocks. And one friend worked really hard to build a really tall tower. And then the other friend wasn't paying attention and accidentally knocked the tower over. That is a conflict that is normal. Even though nobody meant to do it, it still happens and it's still a conflict, but it's also solvable. So think about, how could you solve that conflict? Would sharing work? Not really. What about taking turns? Not really. What about talking it out? Yeah, the person who worked really hard on the tower could use an I message to say, I feel because Now, if you were the person who worked really hard on that tower and your friend accidentally knocked it over, how would you feel? Take some think time. You might feel mad, you might be frustrated, you might be okay with it. We all feel different feelings based on different situations. Step one would be to tell the problem. I feel because And then remember that the other person needs to say it back. You feel because Then you're going to brainstorm or both think about what some win-win solutions are that could solve this problem. Share, take turns. I think this is a really good opportunity to apologize. So for the person who accidentally knocked the tower over, to say, I'm sorry I knocked your tower over. And then the other person either accepts the apology or thanks them for the apology when they're ready. And then I think a good conflict solver would be to fix the problem so they could rebuild the tower together. That's when they would do that. Solve the problem, rebuild the tower together. Now, think back to the questions that we thought about at the beginning. Which win-win conflict solver have you used in your team or your family or with a friend? Why did you use it? And how did it help you remain friends? This is what your writing assignment is going to be for today. In your writing notebook, you're going to write to answer these questions. You're also going to practice this week thinking about using the peace path to help you solve a conflict and paying close attention to when feelings between friends or family members get hurt and what are you going to do about it? Today we're learning that occasional hurt feelings and conflict between friends are both normal and solvable, which means you can fix it. You'll remember when you go off to do your independent reading, you have this document in your ELA packet that will help you. If you're noticing that you're not understanding what you're reading, either the word or the text itself. You can also review these how to stay focused strategies. If you notice that you're reading and your mind starts to think about something else, come back to this document and it will help give you some ideas for how to refocus. You're also going to continue adding to your reading log and sending this to your teacher every day, or every week, excuse me, not every day, every week. Thank you so much, third graders, for thinking and feeling with me today. We're going to end with, as always, with our affirmation. And the affirmation that I need today is, I can do hard things. So practice saying that with me. I can do hard things. Thank you so much again, third graders. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.